everyone, Cassie Draws here and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to show you how to paint this gorgeous loon, and I'm going to show you step by step how I painted this simple yet surprisingly complex water painting. So let's go ahead and get started. The first step in our painting is going to be to get that background water blocked in. So I chose to use my medium-sized filbert brush, and the reason why I chose a filbert for this section was because I find that I get really nice control with a filbert, and I knew I had to cut around the loon and block in this water. So that was my personal preference. You can use whichever brush you prefer, but I'm just going in with a sort of robin egg blue and blocking in this background very sort of haphazardly. This is my first layer, so I'm not being too picky. Once that layer has dried, we can go ahead now and start adding in a little bit of texture and a little bit of fun to this background. Now, this water where the loon is up at the top is very, very still. However, I didn't want it just to be one solid base color. That for me would not look like the realism that I was trying to achieve. So by adding in a little bit of titanium white to my blue mixture, you can see here that I'm coming in with variations of light blue with about 4 or 5 different brushes. So I'm using my medium filbert, I'm using my large blender, I'm using an angled brush, I'm using a liner brush. This is a perfect example of a painting that may take a few different style of brushes in your toolkit to achieve the look that you're going for. However, I always disclaimer, you can use whatever brush you prefer. There's no rules in art, so use what you're vibing and honestly just have fun. Now, layer upon layer, I'm slowly adding in more titanium white, and I'll come in afterwards while the paint is still wet, just a little tacky, and blend it in a little bit with my brush just to soften it up a little bit so it's not as harsh. Before we move on to our next water texture, I'm just going to take a second and block in this loon's head with the base color. I needed to see where these ripples were going to be in relation to this bird, and by adding in my base, it was really helpful for me. Now, the next step is, in my opinion, the hardest part of this painting and where the complexity comes in, and that is getting this ripple texture around this loon to look realistic and not just like random lines on this canvas. I wanted it to have purpose and to really match my reference and the realism that I was going for. Now, how I went about creating this texture was essentially I worked from back to front, dark to light. So I started off by blocking in all of the dark ripples that I could see within this area. Now, at this point, I had about 3 to 4 different shades of blue mixed on my palette paper, and every single time my hand left the canvas, I was adjusting my color ever so slightly. Now, on the camera, it's always harder to see than in real life, but every shade of blue that I've been using is just a little bit different. And the reason being is because no aspect of this water is ever the same. In real life, in this photograph, there are thousands and thousands of different shades. So by consciously trying to remember to change these colors really helps, in my opinion, with achieving a very realistic effect. Once you have those shadow layers in, I always went in with a light titanium white highlight, a little bit of a lighter blue highlight, and just started to block in the shiny aspects of these ripples as well. So you're going to have a shadow leading to a mid-tone as the sort of water crests, and at the very top, you're going to have the utmost highlight. Now, while this water area is drying, I'm going to go ahead now and work a little bit on this loon. So to start off, I'm going to outline the eye with a light liner brush with some Mars Black, and then I'm going to go in and fill the entirety of this loon's head with a dark charcoal color. Now, I'm only worrying about the base at this point, and I will work on the details later. I'm going to fill in burnt sienna into the eye as my base coat, and then apply Mars Black to the beak, which is going to be the darkest aspect on this painting. Now, while that area dries, I'm just going to go ahead and add in the reflection that can be seen of the loon's head in the water. So I'm taking my small filbert brush and some Mars Black, and I'm just haphazardly roughing in this base layer and kind of getting a very general shape for this reflection. Now, once those base layers have dried, we can go ahead now and start blocking this in even further and adding in some more details. So to start off, I'm taking my small round brush and some Mars Black paint, and I'm just going in and insinuating some light little shadows, little paint flicks here and there to give this loon depth. I'm going to do the same thing but with a highlight on the left-hand side and just tiny little flicks and details to add in a little bit of variation. Now, this loon is very smooth. It looks like it just came up from the water, so all of the feathers are very, very slicked back, so there wasn't a lot to really demonstrate here, but I wanted to add in something so that it wasn't just a plain charcoal color. It had some depth and interest to it. Now, the next step will be to add more details to the beak and to the eye area. Essentially, I'm wanting to finish this loon's face and really just kind of move on from this section in the painting. So in order to complete the beak, I'm just adding in some different shades of gray using my liner brush and my small round brush, and just working on giving this beak some texture. So a little bit of wear and tear, some scratches here and there. There are many indents and sort of crevices in this beak, so I wanted to make sure that I illustrated those properly and to the best of my abilities. Now, the utmost white highlight is going to be very selective and very spot highlight. So this is going to be the sort of glistening water-like wet effect, and that's going to be added in last. Next, I'm adding in the pupil to this loon's eye, kind of fixing up this burnt sienna layer a little bit, darkening it in some areas, and then I'll go in the same as I did with the beak with that white highlight, kind of in a little half moon, and really just bring this loon's eye to life. So the next step will be to add in those signature white stripes on the base of this loon's neck, as well as start working on the base layer for the sort of back and body of this loon. Now, once that layer has dried, we can go ahead now and start working on the body of this loon. Now, admittedly, at this point, I was a little bit intimidated. This loon has a very interesting pattern and just something I've never really painted before. So I'm going to do my best to try to lead you through it, and hopefully it will help you because Lord knows I needed it. So to get started, I worked from back to front, dark to light. So I found all of the dark areas of this loon's back and blocked those in with my filbert. Now, because this painting is set far back, it's a little bit further back than I'm used to, I knew that I didn't need to have as many tiny details to make it look realistic. I could get away with using a larger brush. So I used my small filbert, blocked in all of those shadows, and then did the same thing with the highlights, just making sure to layer and kind of add in some depth. So I came in with a lighter blue color on top, and I basically indicated where I could see all of those lighter feathers and highlights. And then once that was completed, I went in with my Molotow marker and my white sort of thin liner, chalked up with titanium white paint, and blocked in all of those little spots on this loon's back. And you can see just by adding in those spots and just a little bit of this texture and detailing, it really did start to come to life and look a lot more realistic. Now, kind of in between this stage, as I'm making my way towards the right-hand side of this loon, I'm also coming in and adding in some light reflections in the water below this as well. So I wanted to make sure that I added in some lighter blue, kind of that same base blue that I used for the loon's back. I wanted to add that into the water, as well as some of the lighter spot highlights. I wanted to add that in as well. So when you're painting your water and kind of working through your loon, make sure that you're just kind of adding here and there little sort of spot reflections as you go. And I found that it made it a lot easier for my brain to kind of comprehend and keep track of what I've already painted or what needs to be completed. So essentially rinse and repeat on that right-hand side, the exact same techniques, back to front, dark to light, and really get those white spots in. Then we can start adding in the reflections, just basically judging the top half of our loon and doing the same thing, kind of just flipping it in the water. Now, I'm always making sure that I'm using a sort of rough brush. I don't want the reflections to be too perfect, so I'm using a little bit of a dry brush. I'm kind of going in there and kind of using some really strange shapes. As this water is moving, nothing is perfect, so I just wanted to keep that in mind, and it's so easy to be too perfect sometimes, so I just had to remember to keep it organic. The last step in this painting would be to add in those really sort of dark ripples on the canvas right-hand side. So I'm using my liner brush, and that original dark color that we used on the left, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the right. So I'm just blocking in those ripples and using my I make sure that it was dry, my dry blender brush to kind of blend them in a little bit, smooth them out so that they weren't so harsh, and just really work on getting this technique. Coming in with a highlight towards the very end, of course, to top it off, I'm kind of moving throughout this entire painting, making sure that the lightest areas are as light as I want them to be, and of course, dry brushing any areas that I think need to be softened up a little. We can use some glazes or even some highlights at this stage. Whatever you think works best and how you want your painting to look is entirely up to you. All right, and there you have it. That is it for today's video. A big shout out to our channel sponsors, Chartpak, Grumbacker, and Molotov for sponsoring today's video, as well as sponsoring my content here on YouTube and on Twitch. Their links can be found in the description box below, as well as places to purchase their supplies for your own art toolkit. A big shout out to our VIP Ko-fi members of the month. Thank you so much for your support. And of course, a big thank you to you for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment letting me know what you'd like to see next, and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed and the bell to be notified when you upload next. Whew, that is it. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.